and welcome to the Luxury Lounge. That's right, every Thursday we head in the lounge, we shut the door, and we air our grievances with the world. And there's no grievance that's too big or too small or too frivolous. It's your problem, so we shall complain with you in a douchey duet, a song of complaining that the world has to listen to because you're here in the lounge. And entrance in the lounge, all it takes is to send an email in. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Title it Luxury Lounge. Give us a little taste of what it is. Shelby's reading all the emails. We love specificity. Specific. We love a specific complaint because that's when we can take it and dig our teeth into it and really gnaw on the bone of a complaint. So keep sending them in. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Keep sharing. Share with your friends. Let a friend know. Here's the thing. This show is, I think this is mental health. This is a mental health space. This show is about really letting those complaints out that you can't do anywhere else and listening to others with no problems that have problems. That's the thing. I love listening to people with no problems complain because I'm like, oh, yeah, I love this. I want to know that these don't matter in the grand scheme. You can listen to these complaints and you can go, I agree, that person is a fucking idiot. And then you can go into the real world with real problems and you can understand that those problems are real. This is about adjusting. The world is off its axis, right? Everything has become moral, immoral, black and white, evil, good. Here we know we all are complaining assholes. At our core, we are insufferable. And that's where you get to come into the lounge and enjoy that. So keep sharing, let people know, give the gift of the Luxury Lounge to a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. I'm on the road, people. If you're listening now, I'm in New York. I'll probably do New York-y show things, but I'm coming to Vancouver, Irvine, Indianapolis, Spokane, just added to the calendar, Oklahoma City, Dublin, Belfast, London, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, Berlin, Oslo, Nashville. So jaredfreid.com for tickies, jaredfreid.com for tickies, jaredfreid.com for tickies. Very excited for today's guest. First time in the lounge.
This is the first time in the lounge.
First time.
I'm so happy we shut the door for what's going to happen here. Yes, I'm glad you clarified. Get real nasty with these complaints.
Love it. Kevin McCaffrey, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So happy you came.
I'm happy to be here. I appreciate that your complaints, you don't want the stuff it's real in a way that's not real. Real in a way that we don't have to, it doesn't have to be the fate of the world.
Right, and we don't have to, when
that's most podcasts. Other ones are trying to solve shit for real.
No.
I like that this is manageable.
This is like going to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym to live. It'll make you live longer.
Sure,
but you come
which
to the
could
lounge,
be good or bad.
Maybe we don't need you here. Mm-hmm. But you come here to just chill out, put your brain on the shelf.
Yes,
and kind of, and here's the other thing. I like to complain, but I don't want anyone shut down because of my complaints.
No, I was going to say, I think your vibe is a very positive guy who has complaints.
Yes.
I think it's a friendly place.
It's not about hey, let me tell you about this business that we're going to go on Yelp and ruin their lives. No.
Right.
I don't like that it seems as though this is a very internet thing where it's I need heads on sticks.
Yes.
And it's I don't need heads on sticks.
No.
I don't need Delta canceled.
No, you're going to be using it, even if it sucks, and then it'll give you more to complain about. Yeah, I think this is, because I think I did the advice show way back, but this is the first time I've seen,
You've been on JTrain.
This.
Well, this is all new. Yes. Feather Nation Studios. This is Shelby's design.
Feather Nation, a nation doing very well.
Yeah, we're crushing it on the up and up. So, but that only goes up if you guys share. So
let's get that GDP up for Feather Nation.
That we need it. Mm-hmm. Go follow Kevin on Instagram, on TikTok. Fantastic comic at Kevin McCaffrey. You have 2 podcasts.
I do. I think this is a big podcast if you're into the vibe of nice guys who like sports and The Bachelor very much.
Right. This is fruitful grounds for you.
It really is. I think the people who like Jared, the 2 podcasts I'll tell y'all about are Sex and the City. It's where myself and my friend John Daly, very funny writer, we've had Jared on as a guest. We just watched Sex and the City for the first time.
It's a great podcast. Everyone should go listen to it and it's also evergreen. You can go and start from the beginning.
And they got the spinoff now too.
Now you're watching the spinoff and doing recap episodes, I'm sure.
Yes.
So and the spinoff is so incredibly bad that I mean to me, but it's it's bad.
Were you an OG watcher?
No.
Okay.
I'm one that will never say something sucks
Yeah.
But I will enjoy it for what it is. So like Sex and the City, like when everyone was like, "Oh, that's a lady show." Like I was always like, "Well, let me see what this lady show is all about." I just want to like let me have an opinion. So I've watched many episodes of Sex and the City.
Sure.
But I've never really gotten into it. Like I know like it would be I feel like I would be co-opting a culture.
Yes, that is so forward of you to not appropriate and it's the culture is right there. It's just women, but it is like so close to what our culture is in New York.
Right.
It is so, and we grew up. I mean, like New York grew up at least in a culture that was like. A lot of people came here because of that show and thought they were going to live that life. So we've been around it.
There's a generation of people who lived here and were looking for their Sex and the City dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, I mean, look at Magnolia Bakery. Like, I mean, like, there's a line there still. Like, it's like Carrie Bradshaw's apartment is on my Google Maps, and you can walk to it
it's sort of
here.
in the neighborhood.
Oh, no,
I was going to say, this is a lovely neighborhood. Yeah.
Right around the corner. But I love Sex and the City. I love the way you guys look at it. It's this open, just love me fresh eyes from the mouths of babes, so to speak.
Yeah, we're the babes.
Yeah.
And just two straight dudes who've been friends for a long time, watch it for the first time. And it's sort of like you, like, we're not like haters about it. Like, it's not like trying to pick on I mean, there's some stuff that doesn't age well and whatever, but like, we're watching it to enjoy ourselves. And people have asked us, like, do you like the show? And I cannot answer. I truly don't know because I like doing the thing.
It's interesting.
You know?
It actually relates to my complaint.
Okay.
If I could get to it.
Do it.
But I want everyone to go listen to Sex and the City. It's also, you have Bridgerton Bros.
Yes.
You've got the whole phylum of bros in the world.
Bros and lady things.
Bros and lady things. And I love it. So Bridgerton Bros, you can just watch them Bridgerton.
Yeah, you get it. It's the same two dudes. And Sex and the City, it was first, and that went well enough. So then we're like, all right, we'll do similar gimmick with something that isn't 20 years old. So now we're doing it with Bridgerton,
Well, I wasn't even expecting to do this complaint, but now I kind of want to do it because it does relate to the Sex and the City. It's the thing that you're bringing up. Like, do I love the show? There are problems with the show, but I like talking about the problems more than I want to like sit here and shame them for the problems. Like, I don't need to get Darren, what's his name? Darren Star. I don't need Darren Star.
You're not coming for the crown of Michael Patrick King. No. You're letting the king live.
Right. I don't need Darren Star in a town square to be shamed for the wrongs that he did at a certain time where we all loved this show.
Of course.
Shelby, let me do my complaint. Hit the music. Jared, he has some problems. Jared.
Is this Rick Rubin produced?
Yeah. I'm bringing up I usually like to watch the reaction of the song, and I'm like, but there's an article I'm trying to bring up. Okay, so because I want to talk about this article. It's been sent to me a bunch of times.
Yes.
I'm sure by now I've already talked about this on... I don't want to interrupt.
I mean, I'm learning now. I've known you for a long time. I know you're a very funny guy. I didn't know you were a triple threat like this, though.
Yeah, I'm coming for that EGOT. I want to get them all.
Once you get started on any one of them, I feel like the dominoes are going to fall quickly.
Right. You just got to get one, then they all come.
Exactly. The first EGOT is the hardest.
My complaint is people who hate The Bachelor. And
I can join you on that,
right.
Absolutely.
Well, because there's an article out right now, and it's been sent to me a bunch, and I'm sure I've already talked about this on the Bachelor podcast, which I'm a co-host of.
Yes.
But I wanted to make sure I got my complaint out here on this. This is the Luxury Lounge. This is a complaint. There's an article that came out in Vanity Fair. So the first episode of The Bachelor played. I love what you said about, you've inspired this complaint. Because
happy to bring some inspiration.
What you said about Sex and the City is like, I watch it for the sport of it.
Like, the totality of the experience of watching. It doesn't have to be all of art condensed into one moment and answer every sort of need I have.
Right. And it also doesn't have to answer all of society's ilks and problems and needs. It is to be like, when I talk about something, I go, oh, that's interesting. This is a fun thing for fodder.
A great conversation starter. One of the all-time great conversation starter shows, really. And so is The Bachelor.
Right. And this is where I get annoyed because there's people that have hated The Bachelor since it existed.
Yes.
There are people that saw 30 women for one man. They were like, this is an abomination. This is a horrible, version of our society.
Right.
And they're not wrong. 30 women from, they're like, this is misogyny. And then...
It's misogyny when they make the ladies split a season and then the most boring man ever gets his own season.
Right.
That is fucking 70 cents on the dollar shit that we should be past at this point.
Right in front of us.
Yes, that is bad.
But you go, as far as like there are people out there that have kind of entered into because The Bachelor continues to be popular in spite of people who hate the premise, people who hate reality shows in general, people who hate dating shows, people who have hated this. I remember when it came, I can faintly remember, but when it came out, because it's been so long at this point, it's been on the air. It has 27 seasons. I'm 37 years old, but I think they've had 2 a year sometimes.
Yes, there's been, the numbers get very wonky. It's impossible to track.
I have a faint memory of just like, this came out and it was like, how are we doing this? Like, this is awful.
Right.
This is 30 women for 1 man. And then, in spite of the moral objection that people have, which if you're going to go the moral route with The Bachelor, you're always going to win. I can't beat you.
Yeah, but it's easy. It's a tap in. It's not doing anything interesting to be like, you shouldn't do this. And also, like, I'm not even 100% sure that that's the case. Because, like, this is extreme. Like, you could not give any more consent to a thing than to go through an audition process where you send your tape in that you had filmed. You want this, whether you should or not, whatever, I guess.
But that's the thing. This is what, and I call it, like, hero writing.
Yeah.
Like it's a hero piece. There's an article.
Absolutely.
The article that came out.
Journey, yeah.
Well, this is the article that came out was in Vanity Fair. It's called "The Bachelor is officially on life support," which the title of it would tell you that this is some sort of a news piece. And if you read the article, it's an opinion piece. It's one person's opinion saying, this show is doing wrong. It's not good. This show, they mentioned the new lead, Zach, who I believe is a robotic human being.
Sure.
I wrote he has the personality of a IKEA furniture that you got for your rental property. Like, I agree with the fact that Zach is not the best lead for this show.
Absolutely. But one of the worst choices to this point.
It's a pretty bad choice.
Yes.
But this is the show. The players have been named. This person writing The Bachelor is officially on life support, which I'm not sure they title their own article. I'm sure an editor does.
Sure.
But this is because it got passed around as if, and then you read it, there's not one rating. There's not one fact in here. These are all opinions.
The real story is like, my vibes are bad now on this season, which does not matter in terms of the show's survival, in terms of anything. So, yeah.
But this gets passed around. They go, and people go, why are people even watching it? I heard it's over. No one's watching. It's like, hold on. There's not one rating in this. There's not one factual piece of information other than this person's opinion. So what bothers me is like people who like the show, we go, yeah, we're having fun dancing. Yeah. We're dancing at the party. And every season, someone shows up to the party and goes, why are you listening to that music? And it's like, we're all dancing.
It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the person who, like, it's the end of football season now, but it's the people who get mad at you for caring about football. Right. It's the sports ball people. It's the I don't own a TV people. It's like, who the fuck are you impressing with any of these bold claims to not be interested in things other people are interested in?
And that's where the internet comes in, because what they do, instead of saying, I don't have cable, they go, look at look at the racial inequity on the show. It's like, yeah, we can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. I mean, that's like a Sex and the City and Bachelor thing, obviously, right? There was like a run of The Bachelor where I'm sure you know, somehow like every time they had an episode on MLK Day, like 3 black women would be kicked off. And you'd be like, this is too much, and you should have checked the calendar at some point. There are plenty of racial problems on that show. Sex and the City, you watch that, and it's like, I mean, that and like Friends, right? We're all like, yeah, where are the black people?
Well, but it's even on another subject, like Asian men don't make it past like day 1, on the show, like just in general. And it is, but even past the racial side, it's easy to come into the Sex and the City world. It's easy to come into the Bachelor world and go, look at all these moral issues. And you go, yeah, we just want to watch and fucking have our brain ooze on a Monday night. Like,
and is this it? Is this where it's making a difference?
That's my problem. Yeah. It's like, I don't think this person who wrote this article likes the show or has ever liked the show. Yeah. What season did they like? That wasn't this season, or was this the season where they were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you were fully in. Look, the first 27 seasons of dating 30 people at a time, fine, but I feel like we're taking a turn now is an insincere stance to take, I believe. And if you're not eating at the restaurant anyway, I'm not interested in your opinion on the food. Like, I find almost, this isn't my specific complaint, but it is a complaint. I find almost every movie review repulsive
Right.
in tone because everyone reviews movies or TV shows as if like it was being created for them by request.
Right.
You know, and like, well, you didn't, you know, but my dad wasn't like that. And then so this puts an unfair burden on mothers and whatever. It's like, this is a story.
Right.
We told in 1.5 hours. That's it.
Right. It really should be from the point of view of the people who watch the show or eat at the restaurant or the movie was, you know, made to incite to come.
Sure.
And I would say to you, that's a great point because with The Bachelor, like I'm sitting here going, yeah, I wish there was like a more, like if I was to look at Zach and I was to like take his stats and change them, like what would I change? Yeah, I'd make
like
him
he's a creative player on like
Right.
a video game or something. Yeah.
The thing is, this article wants the show to end tomorrow.
Right.
I want the show to be better, more fun, more visually
100% same.
Appealing. I want Zach to be a 50-year-old guy with paisley shirt, New Balance shoes, out of his mind, recently retired, has a ton of money, with a bunch of women who are in their 30s looking to meet someone of age who's on the same level of them as far as energy and looking for a relationship is
Gives
concerned.
that Claire energy a little bit, the crazy
Love
going
the
for it.
Claire
Yes.
energy. So like the thing is, and when I see the article titled "The Bachelor's officially on life support," I get these messages all the time. It's from people who never wanted the show to exist.
Sure.
To now hammer you for enjoying the music at the party. And it's like, and they take this route of moral superiority that you can't disagree with. I can't say to them, yeah, there's not a lot of white people on the show. Like, I can't say that to them.
Right, but it's
and
not
they
an
know
argument
that.
you began with
Right.
in the first
I
place.
didn't come here for
you were. No one's opening up like with their fandom of The Bachelor, being like, just wait and see how this shows the perfect slice of America as it is and as it should be.
Right.
That's not why you watch this shit.
Right, no.
We all hopefully live a life that maybe mirrors a little bit more what America is and should be than this, but we don't sit down to watch ourselves like that, you know?
I love it. Let's get to your complaint. Before we do, we are sponsored, people. Remember the last time you were at the gas station and saw those horribly branded erection pills?
Boy, do I. Yeah.
That's all I can think about. Did you ever take a second to see what's actually in those products? They're terrible for you. Enter Joy Mode. Their sexual performance booster enhances sex drive and blood flow, resulting in better performance. It's easy to... Uh-oh.
Whoa, to pop the music cue on.
Hold on.
That's how strong these pills are.
That's how strong Joy Mode is. It's actually not pills. 45 minutes to 4 hours prior to sexual activity. Tear open the packet, mix with 6 to 8 ounces of water, just like your favorite electrolyte packet. You'll notice better blood flow, better erection quality and firmness, and increased sexual energy and drive. Boom, that's it. Here's what I love about Joy Mode.
Tell me.
The minute you enter this into this sexual discussion, things have been amped up, just mentally. Because you're like, oh, he's taking something to get himself a little bit more bloody down there, I guess, like a little more
internal
blood, you know.
That's how the mechanics work. Whether it sounds good or not, that is true. That is how boners
a little more bloody
work.
down
You're
there.
welcome.
That's how I'm going to describe boners from now on.
In London,
right.
That is bloody dick.
Bloody dick.
I mean, because it's so strong. Yes.
But this is the point. Like when you are preparing mentally for sex, and I don't think a lot of men do this. I don't think a lot of men are getting to a place mentally. And I think what Joy Mode does is kind of let them do that. And if you're listening right now, you're a female, you have a partner, this is kind of a cool little, like, this can be a fun, kinky thing to share with a partner. So, want to spice things up in the bedroom, boost your sexual performance, and do it naturally without nasty prescription drugs? Joy Mode has a special offer for the JTrain listeners. Go to usejoymode.com/JTrain or enter JTrain at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's usejoymode.com/JTrain for 20% off your first order. Thanks, Joy Mode. Love that. Okay.
Jared, one of the best ad reads in the biz.
Oh,
I gotta say, you make them fun. There are. This is also not my complaint.
Sure,
but there are podcasts where the ad read. I have almost driven my car off the road trying to reach for like skip forward on the ad read. There's one political podcast I'm thinking of where everyone's named John, and that I have almost literally gotten in a car accident just skipping past the like pretending to be funny for a minute in it. Just drives me. Banana. Shelby gets it. He's shaking his head about.
Well, here's the thing about the way I like to read ads.
Yeah.
Let me find the reason I would like it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would buy everything, but I would say, okay, if I'm to purchase, I do think, and honestly, I have Joy Mode. I've used it.
It sounds
does
fun.
mentally up the ante of like, ooh, we're having sex tonight.
Yeah, which is great news.
Right, it's great news.
It lengthens the runway of the sexual process.
Okay, Kevin McCaffrey. Everyone go follow at Kevin McCaff.
Please.
Here's your complaint. Hit the music.
My complaint.
It's the guest's turn to complain.
He's ready to jump in.
They're ready to jump in.
He's got problems too.
I do.
They've got lots of problems too. It ain't all about Jared. Let's hear their complaint of the day. Let's hear their complaint of the day.
I think the song took joy mode. Was that what it was called?
Lengthened the
Yeah,
song.
it really lengthened it out. Made it hard.
It's a bloody song.
To have
sure
some
is.
fun and complain with you. Let's hear that complaint.
Hell yeah. I just got one of these, and if you've had this complaint before, I will go into my box of complaints.
No,
I will
please.
get another one.
The floor is yours.
I know it's an old man thing to want someone to leave a voicemail, and I don't want someone to leave a voicemail.
Okay.
But what I do want is any more detail than someone calling me. I don't get it. No voicemails left, and then the text says "call me," and that's it.
We have to stop acting like we're not all anxious and ready for the world to end tomorrow. The pandemic, and I don't like making everything about the pandemic, but I do think the fact that we were having a normal life on a Tuesday.
Having a normal one. Yes.
And then we went to a lockdown the next week has done mental things to all of us. And I do think all of us have it more than we did in 2019.
Sure.
Just on a very basic level. More than 2019, we are all waiting for the shoe to drop, so to speak. So the idea that in 2023, someone is calling you, not leaving a voicemail, writing a text that says, call me. That person is a monster. They should be put away. They should have their phone taken away.
They're selfish. Because it could be a number of things, right? Because now, since people text everything, just to call me amps up the level of like what could not be formed into a text to send to a person. Something awful, right? Or it's something where if they had given you the courtesy of the information, you would have had the time to make the excuse for why you can't do the thing they're about to ask you to do, which they are not entitled to.
Totally right. And if you have the ability to write to text, call me.
Yeah.
You have the ability to write one more sentence. Not a big deal. No problem.
Yes.
You have
Dad, not dead.
Call me Dad, not dead. DND.
Yes.
Dude, call me
Dad,
DND.
not dead situation. I'm not moving. Yeah.
Right. And listen, my parents do call me sometimes. I'm okay with that's a parent move. If you're around my age, I had someone on my Instagram. I do Instagram like questions, and we do advice, serious and not serious. If I find a question I can make a joke out of, like I'll do the joke, or if that's something I can really rail on, I don't like to answer every single one. I've seen other people answer theirs seriously, and then I'm like, ugh, am I that serious guy? Like, I got to be able to make a joke or a point that would be specific to me. Someone, I can read it right now. Someone yesterday, their question was on this subject, actually. They said...
And they emailed the show for this?
No, they went to my Instagram, and then they said, okay, guy I'm dating texts me, guess what? Then says, he'll wait till we hang next. What should I expect? Are you fucking kidding me? Guess what?
Yeah.
Someone I don't know, guess what? We'll see next time we meet.
Guess what? Anything about your life or personality, I suppose, is on the list of things I don't know. Like, it could be anything. Yeah.
I told them to end it. I wouldn't date this person. They have no care for your time, your energy. They've put anxiety on you. Unless, guess what?
It's like so silly. But like it should be clear in tone that it's like, oh, this is nothing but like, but then there would still be more detail. You'd be like, it's about something we were talking about. Don't worry, I'll just tell you in person.
I need more. I need in 2023, I need people to be a little bit more aware of everyone else's existential dread.
That sounds like a nice place to be.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com.
Existential dread, JTrain podcast.
At gmail.com. Here with Kevin McCaffrey. Go follow at Kevin McCaff on Instagram, on TikTok. He's hilarious, so funny. 2 podcasts, Bridgerton Bros, Idiots, Sex and the
Idiots.
Go. Get subscribed. You're going
Thank
to
you.
go. When I tell people, if I've been on a podcast, go listen to my episode. That's like your little aperitivo to the show.
Yeah, and you talked about, I think, the most bonkers thing in the Sex and the City universe. You came on to talk about movie number 2, I think?
Yes.
Or was it movie number 1? It was one of the movies.
It was the first movie.
Okay.
And the movies are like, and I think the movies are like enraging. Oh,
yes.
Back to, I did say, like, the new shows, they're bad, but in a way that's like actually interesting bad. Like, you can tell that it is a bunch of rich white women who are like, we need to do better.
It is such an apology of a show.
It's crazy.
Like, it is, and it's such like a clumsy, wealthy liberal apology.
It
is a real goof that like doesn't do anything. Then they created the character Che Diaz, who's a non-binary stand-up comedian character who everyone hated, as Martin Luther King would appreciate, for the content of her character, or their character, excuse me, for the content of their character. That is completely true, because like they made this character that the character, not the actor, the actor, great. The character sucked so hard, and everyone had to be like, "No, but they're perfect. Otherwise, you're evil." It's like, no, they keep sucking.
And it was a disservice to the stand-up community.
It sure
too.
was, dude.
It made stand-up comedians look bad. It made I think most of all of the character Che Diaz made anyone who does stand-up is like just considered this narcissistic monster.
Yes. Yes. And there was some think piece I'm remembering that said like the only thing the show gets right is Che Diaz is how all stand-ups are. It's like, please don't. I'm not saying, look, mostly maybe don't hang out with stand-ups, but there's plenty that you shouldn't hang out with and can be insufferable. We know this, but it's not that. And, yeah. And it was like Che was there, records a special and people like snapping during the special. Could you imagine people snapping during your special? You did your special.
I did a special, December, and it was everyone snapped. It was great.
People snapped. A standing snapvation got him.
Let's get to the complaints. You ready?
Let's do it. Complain me.
Luxury lounge, overeager CVS greeter, JTrain. Feather, here's my complaint. At my local CVS, there is a greeter there who always had some long-winded welcome, like, welcome to the best CVS in the galaxy. I just know you're going to have a great day, and waits for a response. I do my best to walk quickly by, ideally behind someone else who will get the greeting before I do.
They're drafting.
Yeah,
they're NASCAR style, getting in the wind tunnel and just speeding on through.
And it's a good strategy. I agree with it.
Yeah.
Ideally behind someone else who will be getting the greeting before I do, because I don't want to have to come up with a response or fake laugh. The other day, as I'm using the self-checkout, he comes up and says, "Want to see a magic trick with that receipt?" Before I could respond, he takes my receipt, folds it in half, and bounces it on his nose, throws it in the air. Why can't I just buy the tampons in peace?
Oh, yeah, because also taking your receipt is invasive. It's taking your property, also from a pharmacy where there's a lot of delicate items, and it's perusing the breakdown and like, oh, I'm doing something funny with this life-saving medication, possibly. Like, no, we're not doing bits here.
This is one of my favorite complaints. Like, what this guy kind of, what's that behind your ear? Is that the prescription to your cancer medication?
Yeah, it's my prep. Thanks. Let's not have a goof with my.
Oh my God! I now just avoid the CVS location, but would love to hear any suggestions on how to avoid this awful interaction in the future. This is an amazing complaint. It's a wonderful complaint.
It is,
because it lands in the perfect area of this podcast where it's like, this person, there's nothing that can be said wrong about this person other than what we're saying right now. But I'm saying, if you think
otherwise, this detailed breakdown, yes.
But at 3,000 feet, you go. At 30,000 feet, you go. Okay, this is probably an older gentleman who was hired to do a nice job of making people feel welcome and good as they walk into the CVS. And for someone, he probably makes their day.
Yes.
He probably pulls a penny out of someone's nose, and they go, "Oh my God, I love this guy."
Yeah.
And then it goes too far where it's like, I'm just trying to get through my day. I got my headphones on. When I walk into a place, I take my headphones off before the cash register. That is like my policy. That makes me feel good.
I think so. And I think that's courteous.
I try to be.
This is going to be a human interaction of some sort. So I'm going to at least take out the obstacles I have in place for you.
So when you walk into the CVS, you're not ready for this. You're not. oh, I'm going up to pay is a different thing than I'm just walking in to get some Gatorade, you know, and then this guy comes up to you and is like, hey, how are we doing today? And you want to be nice.
Yes.
You don't want to be rude. So what do you do?
I think, because I really ramped up my enthusiasm agreeing with this complaint as it went on.
Right.
Because in the beginning, I was like, okay, there can be something about a charming, like a greeter who's having fun. I'll give him a smile.
Of course.
Whatever.
And also if they're like retired or something, and this is just their way of getting out of the house, like, it doesn't have to be a sad situation, this person, right?
No, and like it sounds like this person is enjoying their job no matter what. So we don't have to feel bad for them in this scenario.
I wish I had their childlike wonder.
Yeah, I sure do, man. I wish I had their confidence in approaching strangers. You know, this is. But then once it gets to the point, as we said, of like taking your stuff from you and playing with it, it's like I did not consent to any more than the basic minimum exchange of money for goods.
Absolutely.
Here. No one's, I mean, I shouldn't say no one, I'm sure someone is, but like, pharmacies aren't a place you go to fucking riff and goof around for the most part. It's like, there's a distinct reason I came through the door here, and I'd like to,
It's an in and out situation.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to CVS these days, you're in a rush.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like there to like peruse. Like, it's not like, you know, Amazon exists kind of now for the browsing aspect of that.
You can do that from home.
You can do it from home, which is, you know, sad reality in some ways, but like, I totally agree. You're not there to, and part of the problem is headphones are so small. You don't even give a signal that, hey, I am like somewhere else.
Yeah.
Headphones means I'm somewhere else. So like when they're little tiny earbuds, you walk in, they go, hey, let me get want to see a magic trick? And you're like, I don't know. What are you saying? Are you attacking me?
Yes, you got to go. I guess the solution here is you just have to go like full as incognito celebrity mode as you possibly can.
Interesting.
Like big sunglasses, the biggest headphones you have. Like just make it as obvious as possible that like I couldn't possibly engage. This would be terrible for you to get me to the point.
Totally agree on big headphones. It's one or the other. I think there's another route. Big headphones, which is like a sign for like, I don't have the time for this.
Right.
Or you go in with huge hello.
Yeah. Oh, so you take the alpha.
You take the alpha.
Hey, man, goodbye. And then you just
go.
Yes.
Hey, great to see you.
Yeah.
As you're walking. So you're walking by like you're on a parade float. Hey,
that's a good move.
That guy.
Yeah.
And then you're off.
That's boss energy.
That's the way to go. I think because not every day you're going to have the big headphones and you don't want to carry them around. So you have to be the personality of a big headphone. Right. So you got to go in, hey.
And even that is like demanding so much more effort.
It's a lot of energy.
You should have to bring to the table.
But that's the thing.
But you're in a pickle.
Right. This is your CVS. They're going to other CVS's. That's probably more inconvenient than doing the big high.
Yeah.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
JTrain
That's
podcast
a good one.
at gmail.com here with Kevin McCaffrey. Go follow at Kevin McCaff on Instagram, on TikTok. Hilarious. You got shows at City Winery in Chicago?
City Winery in Chicago on February 7th. And then I'm going to be all over Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee coming up.
When does this come out? Do we know the date? It's a week from this Thursday, so that might be the 7th.
It'll be right after the Chicago date, I guess. If it's
that'll be the 9th?
But yeah.
Okay, so you're going to the Southeast too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Pennsylvania the 10th and 11th. I'm gonna be in Wilmington, North Carolina, Asheville, Richmond, Virginia,
all over the road.
Bristol,
We got
Tennessee.
Richmond people. I've been to Richmond, love it.
Yeah.
So Luxury Lounge, paying for water at work. Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm a big You Up and Luxury Lounge fan. Thanks for all you do. I just heard the Luxury Lounge complaint that someone had to pay for water at the gym in Poland, and it reminded me of a similar situation I've been through, but at work. I work for a provincial government, and within my first week, what's a provincial government?
I know, that sounds vague to the point where I'm like, oh, is it a problem? Is it like are they doing bad stuff?
What government are we working for?
Yeah.
Within my first week, I was asked if I wanted to join the water club. I would think if someone was like, you want to join the water club, I'd be like, you got a pool?
Yeah.
Like, that would be my first thought.
I think that's the nicest possible thought.
Right. I was then told that for $5 a month, the water club gets you access to the water cooler. Okay, you can't talk about a water cooler as if it's Soho House.
Right. Do I need how many recommendations from current water club members do I need to get in? It sounds like it's being run by like the organized crime families of the 70s.
Hey, you want to get into this cooler gang?
Yeah, there's a tax on the water. It's like, I don't think that's how it works.
No.
I think legally it has to be provided.
I'd be like, how much is the sink?
Yeah. Yeah, is that a separate thing? Is that an add-on?
I was then told that for $5 a month, the water club gets you access to the water cooler. This was so absurd that I actually thought someone was scamming me and pocketing the money for themselves.
I'd absolutely
Calling it
think
a
that.
club is also very obnoxious. It is obnoxious.
Yes.
Because now the people who aren't in the club are just working with you. And
Yeah, is anyone not in the water club at this place? Because I guess you have to pack your own water in that case?
I at other workplaces, I've had to pay $5 a month, but that included access to all teas, coffees, and some snacks in the lunchroom. Is this a WeWork location? Like that's what. If it's okay.
The WeWorks, the whole deal is like you're kind of buying everything, sort of.
Right, you are the company pitching in for communal things. That makes sense to me because it's like, okay, it's my business bringing in the money. I want to have access to this shared community of things.
You know the deal going in.
But if I'm hired by, they write, I'm out here busting my ass for the government and I need to pay for filtered water at work. Like that's... To me, the government is responsible for that. Thankfully, we got a new water cooler that attaches to the sink, so we don't need to pay for water replacement/services anymore. But I'm still not convinced it wasn't a grift, a thirsty civil servant. What do you think? This is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that I would certainly think that it feels like a prank by people to the new guy, a little bit like, oh, you got to pay for the water. And
we used to do this in high school. We would go, oh, everything's by the pool, and we never had a pool.
Right.
Well, that would be like
the
seniors would always do this to the freshmen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right by the pool.
So it feels a little bit like that. Yeah. Also, not a great sign for the government if they can't, if you're in a Flint situation at the office, like that is not cool.
Well, that is funny. That is funny that I work for the government and we will not drink the water out of the sink.
Yes.
It's like, okay, so maybe we should be working on the water issue.
I think we have, on the Monday meeting, I'm going to have, I have a new top bullet point.
Right.
Yeah. Potable water.
Everything about this is bad.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't like what's happening a lot is like, you're working for the government. Like,
it just feels shady.
Right. And if this was a business, I'd be mad at the business owner because I'd be like, this business owner should be doing for its employees, like the bare minimum of having a water cooler that they pay for. The idea that the employees have to chip in for but now they're the boss here is us, the taxpayer. Would we want to know that we live in a town that like doesn't give water to its employees? I don't know.
It's that's something that you wouldn't even ask. You wouldn't even think to ask about as you're being hired. The JTrain podcast, free water.
Yeah, I got club sodas and waters in the fridge.
I came in the door, several options, all free.
You're
the government. You should be
bring
the
up a
government
great
there.
point because when I don't have drinks here, I do feel bad.
I do too. Yeah, I feel like if people are coming over,
offer a drink,
and we're not the government.
JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. We're sponsored. We're already a month into the new year. It's time to put your best foot forward, literally. Rothy's is here to refresh your 2023 wardrobe and with chic, sustainable shoes that bring out your style. Each pair of Rothy's look and feel great right out of the box with no break-in period. Knit to shape with their sustainable signature thread. These babies are soft and flexible. I wear them. I love them, and I keep a pair at my parents' place in Boca down in Florida. So I have like some stuff there, and I have a pair of driving shoes. They're like gray. They're gray and white, and they're like camo look.
Now, when you say driving shoes, what I mean, is it as simple as that? You wear them to the car? Because, I mean, you're getting out of the car at some point.
Driving shoes is a look of a shoe. So it's like a loafer with like rubber bottoms, and they're like orange on the bottom. They're just like, they're like modern, like nice shoes. And the no break-in period part is totally true.
That's very nice.
Immediately I wear them. This might be divisive. I wear them sockless, but I am in Florida, so like they're a nice looking shoe. It's just I
got to go with the culture.
You got to go with the culture.
Exactly.
You got to be. You got to live.
You're not appropriate,
right? I want to let people know I'm here to be in Florida.
Yes.
So they're just a great looking shoe that I love wearing, and it's a really nice refresh. So I think everyone is going to love Rothy's. Self magazine named the original slip-on sneaker the best slip-on sneaker. But they also make insanely comfortable loafers, ankle boots, and more. With so many styles, you'll never worry about getting brand new shoes each season ever again. Plus, all their products are machine washable. That's another thing. I've had these for like 2 years now. You throw them in the wash, they're good.
That's a big deal. That is like I've been like I'm not a sneaker head, but like I've tried to keep the ones I have clean. I'm getting out there with a toothbrush and stuff, and it feels I don't know what I'm doing.
These keep. This is good.
Yeah.
For stylish and comfortable shoes, shop Rothy's. Get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/JTrain. That's ROTHYS.com/JTrain. Mystery streaming users.
Ooh, this is back to the complaints.
They're
not sponsoring you.
No, not the mystery streaming users.
Okay, yes.
Feather.
Some streaming service has gotten on board JTrain, but we won't tell you.
We won't tell you. They're a mystery. Feather, thanks for calling people out on their nasty charcuteries. This luxury lounge issue has me fired up. This morning, I signed onto my Amazon Fire Stick to find not one but two random new names. Normally, the stick is myself and husband, kids, my sister, my parents, 4 circles. Now I'm waking up to 2 new strangers, Bev and John.
Sounds like the beginning of a horror movie,
right?
Like a Jordan Peele.
This would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Who are these streamers?
Yeah.
They're messing up my algorithm. Bev and John. I texted my sister. She's also confused. Next, I call my retired parents. My mom goes, "Oh, that's our friends. They're cheap, so we shared with them." That is an amazing.
That's not being cheap. That shouldn't earn you something.
Right.
It's like, no, but they're pieces of shit. So we're helping.
So we shared them.
Yes.
Absolutely not. They're right. They keep waving it away, but I see them on our Netflix account and others. Here's the annoying part. It's already annoying. I pay for all the TV extras and happily share with my family: Amazon Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, Sling, Disney Plus. What are my next steps? This is a amazing. Well, what an act of taking advantage of you for your parents who are retired to go, "Oh, yeah, we just invited the whole golf community in."
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. When you're already doing them a solid. And I guess it's the thing where like the parents think like, oh, you're not paying more per person or whatever, so what's the problem? Problem is it fucks up your algorithm, and now it's going to start suggesting nothing but, Columbos to you, which is good. But,
also, you're going to work every day to pay for like 7 different things
for
here.
These jabronis,
right? And now these retired people with their own, they're living the life, and they don't work all day, and they're just sitting there watching on your dime.
It's it would be a difficult thing to take from a principled standpoint, And
Well,
it's
that's
like
the
this is like the equivalent of at a wedding when like one of your parents is like has their own table 13 going on, where it's just like all these people where it's like, yeah, they babysat you once in kindergarten. It's like, well, this is your person. This isn't have them go to your next wedding. I guess.
The problem is your parents have said this is no problem.
Right.
So now you have to be the bad guy, and you kind of have to take an aggressive. You can't go passive aggressive.
No, because obviously that wouldn't work even at this point, because like your parents aren't picking up the hints.
Well, what's going to happen is she gets rid of Bev and John, who
of course
are
it's Bev and John.
Always a Bev, and then Bev and John. They just like if she was to say like block them.
Yeah.
Bev and John would go to their parents and go, "Hey, something's up with the streamer." And then she would have to deal with her parents going, "What's wrong with the streamer?" And then you have to go, "I've blocked them." And now they go, "Well, why would you do that?" And you go, "I didn't open this up." Well, I guess that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through this now. My issue with streaming stuff, and this happens with my parents, are like, how do you do the thing? And now you have to like figure it out over the phone. This
it's a
is
whole process.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a process where your parents come to you and go, "What happened?" And you say, "Hey, we are not the public streamer for your retirement community."
Yes.
Like, I'm happy that you're on it. But I'm not having random Bev, random John on my account.
No, but I think if you, as you say, like if you block them, it's always a complicated process to get your parents into the door on these streaming services anyway.
Right.
If you just block these people, they're going to be confused. Yeah, they'll mention it to your parents. And then I would consider, depending on how cool your parents are to just talk to and explain this to them, I'd consider being like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I just being like, I don't know, I guess it's not working.
Guess it's not working.
Like, if I don't want my mom or dad to do anything technology-wise, I just go, I guess it's broke. It's the same thing you do with like a child child or a dog, I guess. It's like, you're just like, I don't know, the music won't play anymore, you know?
The dog's gone, it's just dad. Dogs.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what it is, and then you play dumb, so that's like one way you can do it. I guess I've never had to like block anyone from a streaming service.
Right.
So I assume you can do it. But
you got to be able to do it. You got to be able to say these people are not on our account.
I had to. This isn't a streaming service.
Call the police.
Yeah,
have them show up. I heard you're stealing.
Yeah. I never advocate calling the police except when it comes to television. Very important. I had some guy kept signing me up for, and I wish I'm not going to get this exactly right, but it was some aggressively sexual website like dudesquirt.net or something.
Dude Squirt.
It was like squirt was in the title for sure.
Squirt's aggressive, that word.
Squirt is aggressive, and it was like an all dude situation, and they kept signing me up for it, and I don't know if it was like an elaborate prank, like months-long prank, or whatever, but I had to like message the squirt people and be like, hey, can you just like block this email address? Because like, I promise you, I respect your business, but like, I won't be subscribing on purpose to dude squirts.
Dear Mr. Squirt, I would like off of your platform, not that I'm judging your platform.
No, I wish you the best.
To the squirts, I wish only the best.
Yes, but it's like that. So it's like you must be able to just take them out of the equation.
You got to block them.
Yes.
Your parents call you, hey, what happened with Bev and John's account? Bev and John have been ousted, okay? We're not paying for them. I'm happy to pay for you. I'm not paying for you and your crony friends.
I think that's the mature way to do it.
Right.
I'd play dumb and say, I don't know. Or there's a limit, but yeah.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Kevin McCaffrey. At Kevin McCaff on Instagram, on TikTok. Luxury Lounge, tiny gym lockers and inconsiderate people. Feather, short time listener, but I am bringing your episodes and I'm binging your episodes, and it always makes my day a little bit better. Well, that's
very nice.
Now on to my complaint. I go to the gym 3 days a week after work. This means I usually have my purse, my gym bag, water bottle, and now that it is winter in the Midwest, a giant coat, hat, etc. I got a lot of shit. What can I say? My complaint is my gym only has about 25 lockers, and only about 5 or 6 are larger than about 5 by 10. Because I am coming after work, I usually arrive last, and when I open up one of the large lockers thinking it's available, lo and behold, someone else has their car keys and phone in there with nothing else. This is not only an everyday occurrence, but several people do this. I either get lucky and find the last large locker, or I have to take up multiple lockers, and then I look like the asshole. Thank you, and hopefully you and your guest can relate. Annoyed gym member who needs the bigger locker. This is totally unbelievable. It totally makes sense. This annoys the hell out of me. This is also like the gym is at fault.
The gym, because the gym needs to up their messaging game about, like, please use only the space that you need, which is an extremely un-American thing, unfortunately. Like, this is a country made of people with lots of money taking all the land that they do not need. The richest people all have 24 bathrooms, and they've shit in 3 of them. So this is, like, it's just not in our culture to be respectful in this way, but it does drive me bananas.
Well, that's the thing. That's why we need to like create. Like, to me, the gym should have those lockers that are like this big for your keys.
Yeah.
Like at the gym, like we need to like live in a world where there's like we need a 3 bears situation: too small, too big, the medium just right.
Yeah.
It bothers me because I know what this person's talking about. You get to the gym and
Are you a gym guy?
I've been working out outside lately. Yeah. So I don't go to I don't even belong to a gym. I might.
Same. I do. I'm a living room guy. I work out hard in shame in my room with nobody watching.
Well, that's what I've kind of found it nice to not go to a gym anymore because there is this element and it relates to the lockers, but it's like I want to make sure I can get to my stuff so I can get this done as quick as possible.
Yes.
So there's like this one, when you go to a gym and you go, and there's an anxiety level where you're walking in going, I better get a locker. I only have an hour to be here. Oh, man. If I have to spend 15 minutes searching for lockers, it ruins the whole thing. So it's like, it is like, there are these bottlenecks when you go to a gym that are coming. Like someone might be on your treadmill, might be on your machine.
A lot of anxiety spikes in here. A lot of places to get jammed up that suck. It's like,
And then you have to be the person that puts like their like there's something weird about putting your daytime clothes next, like carrying it around while you're at the gym.
Yeah,
it's in a little corner.
It's sort of like it shouldn't be, but it feels shameful in some way. It's revealing,
right? Yeah. You just want it in a locker, put away with a lock, and it's like I understand where this person's coming from completely. Do you have anything else on this?
No, I mean I think just like it sucks. People don't respect space. Don't take only what they need. That sucks. It's a problem. Goes back a long ways. I mean, the gym just has to be better about maybe
I would go to the gym and be like, can you guys? I would petition them to get the little tiny things for keys, or put up a sign that says, if you don't need the big lockers, please don't use the big lockers.
Yeah.
Like there should be a sign at least. I just don't like a lot of these issues from the luxury lounge. A lot of the things people write in about are like things that could be taken care of at the top.
Yeah, really simply.
And we're put in this position to fight over lockers while, Big Jim's counting their money.
The fat cats are, they got all the room they need.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. At Kevin McCaff. Go follow.
Yes.
The Sex and the Citiettes, Bridgerton Boys. Those are the Bridgerton Bros. Those are the podcasts. Luxury Lounge, uncaffeinated equestrian woes.
Now, those are just 3 words. They just pulled out that was a randomizer.
Right, this is like a Mad Lib.
Yeah, yes.
Hi, Jared. Big fan of the podcast. Thank you for giving us a space to complain about more opulent issues. My luxury complaint is that I am in Switzerland for an international equestrian competition.
Wow, they are bringing the opulence with every single beat.
I mean, I haven't seen the opulent SAT word. And after a long day of waking up at 5 a.m. to learn and walk the course, get ready, warm up, and do 4 classes, the only thing I wanted was a good chai latte to wake me up and not a coffee not a coffee drinker. Come to find out, there's no coffee bars set up of any kind. I'm sorry, but I'm paying a lot of money to be here, and it's not like there's a coffee shop around the corner from the showgrounds that I can just pop into. I looked, and the closest cafe is 20-minute drive. It's outrageous that we'd have to make that long of a trek for caffeinated beverages when there is usually somewhere on the grounds to get something quick. It is impossible that there's no room in the budget for someone to work in even a temporary setup for 3 days. We are all irate and debating whether to make a complaint or not. We need the caffeine. Sincerely, Sleepy in Switzerland. What do you think?
Well, I love that they were debating whether to make a complaint, so they're testing it out here. That's really nice.
This is where you come to see how the people feel.
Yes, your listeners feel comfortable enough to workshop it here, see if it passes the first level of bureaucracy, and then if we complain, then it gets to move up the chain to the horse or whoever is in charge of this in this situation.
Can you relate?
I cannot relate. I don't know what's happening here. It sounds like these are a friendly group. These aren't Bond villains, but this sounds like someone would get murdered by James Bond, and they would know him, and be like, he rides the horses with us, and he was hogging all the caffeine,
or
so that
James
makes sense.
Was sent on a mission to an equestrian event in Switzerland, shows up, and this is where the deed is had or the deal is done. And
he's betting one of the sexy horse ladies.
Right.
Yes.
I think,
should just have coffee if it's you should have something caffeinated if your thing is regarding an athletic pursuit.
Right. And here's the thing. If you have to show up somewhere early, have a coffee bar. I don't think they need to have chai tea. I mean, when they
don't have to go that deep with the options.
Right. It could be, and tea is the most inexpensive. Coffee and tea is the most inexpensive. The fact that there's coffee shops is we don't realize how much more of a premium we're paying on such a low dollar item.
Yes.
So for those people to just have a little thing, and you're out in the country, people are getting there early. You have to assume they're paying to be there. This is the other thing. They
can't be short on money in this situation.
Right.
As you said, the Swiss equestrian
community is doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I think I definitely understand the complaint. As you say, it's there's money here. I'm sure these people are giving plenty of money to this scenario. It doesn't seem like a big ask to have one of the world's cheapest refreshments.
Well, who's planning this? That's my issue. Who was we're going to have the big horse day, and everyone's going to get there in the morning. It's you didn't think people would be thirsty or hungry or want some sort of refreshments?
Right. It sounds new. Did they just,
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com.
That's going to get fixed. I have faith that is going to be okay.
Luxury Lounge, Honeymoon Spa. Jared, Feather. I'm writing you from another email from Switzerland, Shelby.
You're
back-to-back Swiss emails. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is great news for you. You got an account there yet?
Right. I gotta get out there.
Yeah.
I'm writing you for my honeymoon in Switzerland. We are in a popular ski town, and it's very expensive.
I hope the complaint is someone just being like, someone won't stop asking me for coffee. I didn't supply one latte, and all of a sudden they're writing to my favorite podcast host.
We've been budgeting where we can and splurging on things where we think are worth it. I booked us a spa evening at a nice boutique hotel, nicer than the hotel we're at, where you have access to the spa, sauna, steam room, jacuzzis, day beds overlooking the mountains, etc., and private massages. When I exited my massage, there was a father and son in the jacuzzi, literally yelling to talk to each other because the jets were too loud to have a normal conversation. There are signs everywhere to be quiet, and no one else was talking. The spa is also considered a nude zone, and while normally I'm not sitting naked in front of strangers, it's my honeymoon, and my husband and I were feeling fresh. We went sans towel into the sauna, only to be interrupted by the 9-year-old busting in and yelling about being hungry and wanting to leave.
But that really sours a nude zone.
Right.
You don't want any of those elements in your nude zone.
I'm hungry. What? I had to hurry to cover myself up so he didn't see me nude. Is it too much to ask that I not share my sexy and relaxing spa time that we splurge on with a screaming kid? What do you think?
I'm pro. There needs to be zones that are just not kid zones.
Right.
That has to be okay.
And here's the problem is anytime you say, I don't want kids here, you're the fuddy-duddy.
Right.
I don't like kids guy, especially, and then you get put on you. You don't have kids. You don't have kids.
No.
I don't have kids. So they do. You don't understand.
It's like, no, I get it.
I get it. I get it. This is not where the kid should be.
Yeah.
And it's like, here. And the problem is, I do think this is a generational thing. I think, especially now, our generation, having children, you can have it all. Have it all. No, you get to do everything you want. Everyone should have everything they want.
And we're a cool parent generation,
I'm a
too.
cool parent
Yes.
who's going to have his vacation. I'm going to go to Switzerland, and I'm going to bring my kids, and we're going to have it all at once. And it's like, no. And it's like, it's another generation that was like, this is now adult land.
Yes.
And the other generation was, I'll do my Swiss vacation when I don't have to bring my kids.
Right. Because it should be many parents also feeling like,
right.
Well, let's get a non-kid zone up in here because I'm with kids all the time.
I'm in a spa where they encourage nudeness. At that point,
yeah.
Are you trying to have a problem?
It feels like yes. Also, I can't think of someone I would want to hang out less with as an adult or another 9-year-old as a spa 9-year-old.
Right.
Are there spa 9-year-olds?
Right.
Maybe I grew up too lower middle class.
Right.
But I didn't know.
Kicked the camera by accident. Is it going?
But I did not know spa kids when I
right.
I'm sure there are, but yeah.
I don't want to hang out with the kid who's at a Swiss spa.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with the kid who's in first class on the flight to Switzerland.
Right.
I don't want to hang out with a kid who probably has, a better vocabulary than I do.
Yeah, he's dropping the word opulent everywhere.
Opulent, left and right, knows where Interlaken is. I don't need. I need my kids to be kids, and I need my adults to be adults. I don't need to know that this kid's got a 401k already.
Yeah.
I
you
just
like clarity. It's okay to be different. Yes, and this I can hardly think of a better place for a division than the nude zone at a pricey spa.
But I blame the parents because I go, hey, you're having an okay time in Switzerland. The kid is having an okay time. This wasn't a vacation for kids. This wasn't a vacation for parents with your kids. Everyone's getting half a good as thing as they wanted to have.
Right.
You go to Disneyland with your kid is having the best time of their fucking life, and you're having a miserable time. That's the way it's supposed to work.
It is.
And then you take
and the kid's good time brings your good time up a little because you're like, I can see the magic through your eyes. It's reflecting a bit,
I get to feel good about doing this for you.
Right.
And then you go on your Swiss vacation when you can afford it without your kids, and it makes it so you have the best time you can have without your fucking kids. So it's like, I do think this is a generational, I got to get it all in. I still want to go to Fiji. And it's like, you can't go to fucking Fiji. You have a 3-year-old.
Yes. You missed the Fiji window. Right. Maybe it'll come around again.
You decide. That is the decision. You get married at 27, you have given up Fiji as a sexy adult.
Yeah, that's fine. As a sexy old adult. When they get to the age, maybe when they're who you're casting for The Bachelor, when you get to 50-year-old wealthy man
that's
goes
when you go
to Fiji for the first time.
Right.
And what a season
But
that
That used to be now. I'm telling you, that used to be like when you go on vacation. Like my parents are now
You'd
traveling
earn it.
around.
Yeah,
you get to the point, but now I think there's this mix of like I ain't missing Fiji. It's like fuck off. You're ruining my vacation that I chose to have. I don't have children.
Yeah,
I chose Fiji.
Yeah,
I chose Switzerland and doing this vacation over moving my life forward.
And I don't know what that person can do in this scenario besides just gesture at the 9-year-old who's running.
I'm going straight to the supervisors. Hey, there's a kid in there.
Yeah,
I would act as if there is an age limit. I would go.
Yeah, just vibe it. Just be like,
hey,
guys,
there's a kid in there.
Got to be 18.
There's a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a kid in there. What's going on? Oh, you don't have an age, and then you shit. You don't have. So any kid.
So you're just letting kids run around while I'm just wang first everywhere over here. That doesn't seem like a good situation.
Right. Wang first.
Wang first.
JTrain
God, that's the worst bank. It is the worst bank, savings and loan.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Luxury Lounge. I hate shitty gifts. Jared, thank you for giving me a place to share a complaint I've held in for years. I despise receiving gifts because 99% of the time they are things I don't want or need. I have hated them as a kid, broke college student, and adult with a good job.
A kid who hates gifts.
Hates gifts.
Give that a character a show.
Right. I probably sound ungrateful, but I would much rather not get a gift than get something that is going to get shoved back into the back of the closet. I am also not going to go out of my way to use something I would never use in the first place. I donate every gift I don't want, which is better than throwing it away. I have tried to get around this by providing a list of things I want every year, and these things vary in price range, but no one ever uses the list. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Sincerely, not buying me a gift is really the best gift. What do you think?
I mean, I think this is this person seems to be of sort of a unique build.
Right.
Like, I don't think this is the kind of perspective you get with your average person, but I think that's great. I think as long as they make it clear, it's like, my vibe is that this person, everyone in their life knows they're particular. I don't think that's coming as a surprise to their friends, probably, right?
When you start providing your friends and family with a list, as if they're Santa Claus, and like these are the approved,
book, not Amazon list.
No.
You're just like, this is Jeff's list,
right?
Yeah,
yeah. I'm with this person.
I think the list is great. I used to love that function of the Amazon thing, which I don't think people really use anymore. But like my friends and I, the like close friends who would get each other like birthday gifts or whatever, we would like put what we actually wanted on there and be like, all right, go see what video game they want or whatever. And
I want nothing to do with gifts for anybody. I think it's like weird that we like, I give a gift, I write down what you give me a gift, I write down what you gave me, then I have to like give that back to you.
Yeah, the obligation sucks.
Right.
What I like is a system where it's not based around Christmas or birthday, but if you see something that your friend would love that's really specific and like weird unto that person,
right?
Like you find some sort of weird Bruce Springsteen paraphernalia, you have a Springsteen freak, it's like, I'll just get it for you then.
You bring up the best point. And it's that a gift reveals how little they know about you.
Yeah.
So
right.
like,
and this person's a mystery to everyone.
Right.
This
person is constantly reminded that there is no thought put in. They're just getting gift to get gift. It is like junk food. It is garbage. It is a waste. I've had this where you get a gift and you go, why did you think I would want this? You know, like, and you go, what did you think of me? Like, what did you? And then you do get it when you get a good gift. You go, wow, you knew me so much that like this is something that just like you said, like I saw something that made me think of you. I think that's how every gift should work. Where you go, like for a friend, like, you know, the idea you go to a wedding and you're like, how much do I give? And it's like, then you come up with this arbitrary number. You're like, I don't know, here's $200 because I had a plus one.
Right.
And
then
you
what
go,
was my plate? Probably. And then that's weird math. And then it's like, what are we doing this for to get to a net zero?
Right. And all you're doing is this obligated thing. Whereas like if someone got me something that I truly cared about, I go, wow, I am warm to know that you know me this well. And it goes the other way. I'm disappointed to know me, you know me not at all.
Yeah. And then I guess the downside of getting that nice gift is you're like, shit, I really got to bring it. I got to be on the lookout to respond in kind. Because they're worse for me. I sort of don't care if you give me a shitty gift, but like if someone gives me a great gift and I just have like, you know, a $50 coffee gift certificate, which by the way can be great, like I'll be like, oh shit, like I've had that happen where like someone gets you a gift and you go, oh my God,
like I have to stop being friends with them.
Yeah, man.
Like I don't care about this relationship as much as they do.
Oh, and that's such a bigger life complaint that I have too, is just like when you find out through happenstance that like, oh shoot, I rank so much higher on this person's list of friends than they do for me.
I have to back away.
Yeah, you just have to like ghost out at some point where it's like you have to
know.
know we're not besties, right?
Right.
Like, and then I feel like shit because I'm not hanging out all the time.
Absolutely. JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here when Kevin McCaffrey at Kevin McCaff on Instagram, on TikTok, Sex in the City. It's Bridgerton Bros. Shelby, we got time for one more? You got time for one more?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. My penthouse is too tall.
What a headliner of a complaint this is. This is great.
Jared, all the feathers. I first heard you on Jackie Schimmel's podcast in February. I've been hooked ever since. Well, thank you. Recently moved to Washington, D.C., sadly out of town during your show. Live in the penthouse apartment of a luxury high-rise in a prestigious neighborhood with panoramic views of D.C. The apartment has everything a person could dream of, including state-of-the-art gyms, pools, business centers, lounges, game rooms, and top-of-the-line materials, appliances in the apartments. However, I'm 5'3", and everything in the place is out of my reach. Removable shower heads, shelves, and even the dryer buttons. The dryer buttons. This is horrific.
Yeah. How big is the fucking dryer?
That's crazy. For example, I have shelves that are easily over 7 feet tall. My husband's 6'4" and can reach most things without concern. But every time I need something from the shelf, I either have to ask him for assistance or grab a step stool. Thanks for letting me vent about my penthouse problem. Sincerely, Petite in the Penthouse. I love this email. I had a very similar situation. What do you think?
That email got better and better as it went. Again, It sounded like a Batman villain to begin, but then it became...
I overlooked the Capitol.
Yeah,
I see everything.
It really was.
Yeah.
But then the sort of great visual that it painted of this petite woman who has been sort of ensconced within this hell that she cannot get to anything.
My biggest fear is being someone else's burden. I think
that's pretty deep.
I think it's a I think it's a relatable fear for stand-ups. I think that's why we get into stand-up. I go on stage, I do well, I bomb. It is all my problem.
100%.
My grandmother used to say, if I can't drive myself, kill me. That was
yeah.
That's how she started a party. She was a very fun guest.
Yes, she sounds fantastic. I feel like I could absolutely get down with that grandma. That is like, I fully feel that way.
If I can't drive myself, kill me.
Yeah,
she's dead now. We didn't kill her, but
she drove her. She drove off a cliff real fast.
That was it. She realized she couldn't drive. She went right off the cliff. She drove until the day she died, but she was never a burden. That was like her big thing. I never want to be a burden on someone else. It is a horrible feeling that this person lives in their home and they can't reach the dryer button. Like, are they walking around with a big wooden pole to hit buttons? And this just happened. I am a huge fan of this company called Culture Kings. They ever pop up on your Instagram? It's like a hat.
They do. I was going to say hats, right?
So I didn't realize and I talked about this on Patreon. If you're a Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/Jared Freid. I did a coffee with JTrain about my trip when I was in Vegas. And I talked about, you go to Culture. So Culture Kings comes up on my feed all the time for hats. I love buying hats.
Sure. I see them. Yeah.
I can't stop with hats. I bought this really good. See that Arizona Cardinals one? I'm like obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah. Is it like orange and purple?
Yeah.
Off colors.
It's like off colors. So
Phoenix Suns, though.
Is that what? That's what it is.
You're in the same town. So they're doing the franchise flip color-wise within the town. Look at me. I'm a sports
I had
detective.
no idea why it was that. And you're right. And I love the hat. I haven't even worn it yet, and I love it. Here's the thing. So when I went to Vegas, the Culture Kings is out of Australia. They opened a flagship or a huge store in the Forum Shops at Caesar. I go in there. It is hats as far as the eye can see. I'm going to show you a video. I have a video. I'll show it to you.
I think I already know where this connection's going.
So the connection is all the hats are way up. The clothing's on the bottom. The hats are unreachable to any human being.
And then I'm just out on that. Then now I'm not going to purchase those hats.
Well, that's the thing.
I completely take I'm 6'2". If I can't reach it, it's not normal.
I'm showing you the store.
There's big ladders. Looks like an awesome store.
So look at how many hats.
Oh my God, yeah.
So they have every hat. They have thousands of hats.
It's a cool visual.
Cool visual.
Yeah.
it's not a great shopping experience because what you have to do, and when I go into a place, I try on 80 to 90 hats. Like I really, because to me, the fit is as important as what's on the hat. And they have A-frame fits. They have like they have the surfer fit. They have the fitted fit. Like, and I'm in between sizes on a new era, fitted cap.
Yeah.
And I'm on Mitchell and Ness hats. I fit better. Again, these are all very specific things that I'm looking for in my hat experience. You get there, you have to, every time you see one you like, you have to grab a guy who then gets on a moving ladder.
You're setting a Rube Goldberg machine into motion where,
I swear to God. And you literally...
Who's getting in the way of other people, by the way.
Of other people. And then they go up to the level, they grab a hat for you and they give it to you. Then you try it on and you go... that's not it. And you go, what do I even do with this hat now? I can't even put it back. I just put it on a shelf.
And then you feel like a shithead because you didn't succeed at sword in the stoning a hat off the top row.
Right.
Yeah.
I was so mad. And then I had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like rushing through this process. I mean, I didn't end up finding 2 hats I liked. I got this Boston one. I got the Cardinals one.
And I'm glad you liked them, but like, don't you feel once you've begun that process, you're like, I got to leave with something?
Absolutely.
Like, because I have to buy this. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they're doing it. They're like, everyone here will be guilted into buying it. Yeah. But I came here to see your hats. I came here to try everything on, to see what it was like. It was such a frustrating experience not being able to reach and be able to touch it. And maybe it's for stealing was my only thought. But then I go, in that case, make all the people who are grabbing me hats security guards.
Yeah.
Like
Plenty of people looking for work. I imagine most security guards would love to work a hat store shift. That sounds pretty low stress, relatively speaking. And then our petite friend in Washington, D.C. is living a life like this where she can't just, I want to dry my clothes. Do I have to wait till Brian gets home to get something from the laundry? Because you don't want to be pushing around like a movable ladder around your house like you're some sort of old person in a British library, like trying to find the original scrolls all the time. It's like, I'm just trying to live my life.
You wanted a house with an aesthetic that didn't involve a rolling ladder.
Yeah.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Kevin McCaffrey, this was fantastic. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, Jared.
Everyone go follow Kevin at Kevin McCaff on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm going to have him all over my social media today. Go listen to the podcast, Sex and the City. I'm on there. Go listen to Bridget and Bros. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Thursday in the lounge. Keep sending your email, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. Back next week. Boom.